No flash photography permitted, and only bowlers may be in the seating area. Bowlers, there's a 2-lane courtesy. When your lane lights come on, you may begin. Good luck and good bowling.
we're back. Welcome back, everybody, from the short break. The 230 squad is underway. They're finishing up game 1 right now. Game 1 of 3. This will be the last qualifying squad of the day. There is a couple of 9-pin no-tap sweepers later on tonight. We will not be broadcasting those, however, but there will be 2 of those squads going on this evening. We will have some bonus coverage tomorrow night for the Storm Challenge, though, however.
Yeah, like you mentioned too, Jeff, as far as the challenge goes, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Going to be some music. It's going to be, a format like that really calls for, just as much entertainment, but they're bowling for some good cash as well.
Have you ever bowled in a format like that, an elimination shot format?
I have once, but it was more in a local tournament. We didn't have quite the entries, but I tell you what, it was pretty cool to actually throw shots, move lanes, and it's pretty much a best ball format. A lot of excitement when you get somebody go strike, 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 moving lanes, and then all of a sudden you get a Greek church, for example, and you're out. It's a survival kind of a format. It's pretty cool.
We actually used to do that at home a lot. We used to call it a horse race. This is back in the heyday when we bowled double shift a league, and we'd get done at midnight. We'd start on lane 1, and everybody'd line up, put in $5. You'd line up on lane 1, and you would just go until you stopped striking. And if you missed, you could re-enter and keep trying your luck at it. And we would go until finally somebody got as far as they could go and nobody could match them. And it was kind of fun. But then one year in Albany, New York, at Carol Judge's place at the Tour Stop, one of their side events before the Pro-Am, they had everybody get up and throw their one shot, and it was the same thing. It was an elimination, only they did it, low count was out. So it took a lot longer. We were on the floor a lot longer. But if somebody got up there and threw a shot and got 5, they may have been the only person eliminated out of the first 100 bowlers. So it was pretty cool the way they did that. It was backwards of this one, to where now you have to strike or you're eliminated. Well, that one was strictly the low count was out. So if you got up and everybody else struck and you got 9, you were the only guy out. So.
Yeah, they had a similar format. Tyler Jensen, Storm sales rep, he can testify to this because he was actually there back in Texas one time after a sweeper. They had, and it seems easier said than done. You go across, they had 12 lanes that they were running. If you can go across all 12 lanes to get 8 or better, and you figure 8, okay, even if you go high or light, a lot of times you're going to do that. Well, I'd actually made it across the first 7 lanes, got to the 8th lane. I'm sorry, made it through the first 8 lanes, got to the 9th lane, switched pairs, and just based off of who was on there before, was lined up to the pocket, hit the first 8 lanes pretty good. Actually hit the 2-4 right in the face and left the 1-3-6-8. Yeah, that pesky 1-3-6-8.
The ever popular 1-3-6-8.
Ever popular, yes.
Welcome back, Michael.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Nice to have you back in the building. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, actually.
Good.
I didn't know Samstown was so far away, though.
Yeah, it's like a whole nother country over there.
Yeah, it's like they said in Forrest Gump. It's this whole other country, Vietnam, I believe. That's what Forrest says.
Did you just keep running?
Yeah, when I got to the end of the state, I just kept running. When I got to the end of the United States, I just turned around and just kept on running. Hey, man, you just ran through the biggest pile of horse manure. It happens.
We could do this all day,
right?
Literally. Absolutely.
I think I ruined your roommate's towel. Remember that?
Yes, I do. Too funny. Did you get some lunch?
I did have the buffet. I had the Jimmy Buffett over there. It was quite delightful.
What'd you have?
Just a little salad and some peas and carrots. I was looking for the box of chocolates, but I didn't see any.
Very healthy, though. I like that. That's why you avoided the chocolates. That strict diet. Got to stay strong.
Well, me being the true gamer that I am, I ran downstairs, grabbed Subway real quick, and a shameless plug. If there's any executives from Subway out there listening to the broadcast, feel free to send all endorsement checks my way. But I ran down to Subway and grabbed a sandwich real quick, came back up so that we could entertain the masses that are out there watching and listening to us.
Hey guys, I got a player interview here. Bryson Rogers bowling in the event right now. Bowl 214 the first game. Bryson, what do you see going on in the lanes out there?
They're tough. You know, you got to make good shots. Can't miss too far in or the ball's going to go high. And it makes you want to throw it through the front, so it makes it hang on the outside.
Michael, ask him if
I got a good coach here. Brian Dennis shot 300 first game of qualifying, so he's helping me out. Got me lined up, so hopefully I'll put up a big number here.
What was your question in the booth, Jeff?
Ask him how many squads he has bowled today.
Oh, yeah. How many squads have you bowled today, Bryson?
This is my first qualifying squad.
But you were here yesterday and the day before, right?
Right.
And I see you're using a freaking Frantic. Talk about the Storm products a little bit.
The freaking Franic's a little bit cleaner through the front, so it corners a little harder down lane. Gives me a little bit more pin action that I'm looking for.
All right, man. Well, good luck to you. I know you're right in the middle of bowling.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There you have it, guys.
All right. Well, Bryson, he's definitely a very talented individual. He's been coming out for these high roller and TAT events here for a number of years. Very skilled player, and actually was in Utah for quite some time. Got to know him.
2002. I was there at the same time. Bowled league in my center. Very nice guy. He and his brother Brian.
Nice guy, but don't let the niceness just kind of. I think he kind of lulls you a little bit. He kind of takes your edge off, and then he just pummels you when he has the chance.
Yeah, he's like a bird. You feed him, and then the next thing you know, he's pecking at you.
Exactly.
Is that like Eddie Bird?
Yeah, the Bird Man.
The Bird Man.
That was a fun broadcast on USBC, Jeff. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it back or not. But when the Bird Man was on your pair at USBC's, Mr. Carter.
Yes, I did watch a little bit. I actually didn't watch it. I just listened to it.
Oh, okay.
He was making them look a lot easier than they really were. I can tell you that from my standpoint. You could hardly tell it was a tournament conditions the way he was playing them there.
Yeah, Eddie bowled outstanding that night. He really did. He just, you know, execution-wise, other than maybe 3 shots, I think, if I remember correctly, off his hand, everything was just unbelievably good.
Hey, guys, down here on 23 and 24, right side of your screen, Bryant Bratt is the letter C. Bowled a 155 the first game. Rhonda Hagee here. She's in the handicap division. She's letter A. She bowled a 192 the first game with a 186 average. And Doug Yoakum bowled 203. He is letter B, and he is in the middle division. That's Doug up on the lane right now on lane 23.
Terrific. Thanks for those updates. That's one thing we were missing being back here and not having you, Mike, was being able to go through and get some scores and kind of see how everyone's doing. We had some awesome scores the last squad. Cameron Foster, he shot 753, had a 268 right in front of us on our feature pair on 17 and 18. He's using that IQ Tour Pearl. Had the front 8 for he left on a really good shot, left a ring 10 in the 9th, but he was matched up very nicely. It's fun to watch him bowl.
Like I said earlier, it does look like there's some scores out there to be had. If you can kind of get matched up in the right zone with the right ball in your hand, I've seen enough strings of strikes out there to at least let me think that you can score.
Hey, guys, I'm here with Dave Perushad. He actually participated in the event yesterday, qualified. He's in the big dance. Dave, out here in Vegas, obviously your younger brother Rob is working in the shop today. Tell us a little bit about what you saw in the lanes yesterday.
Yesterday, the middle of the lanes, we're hooking a little bit more, so I use a mellow ball and try to stay around the track area and try to get it to the tracer down the 10 board, about 40 feet down the lane. Just try to keep it in play and hit the pocket. 30 clean yesterday. I didn't get myself a patch, but I'll take it.
You got to love those patches. Hey, I was telling the guys yesterday on the broadcast that back in the day we used to get on the AOL message boards, and you guys from up in New York were very vocal, and us guys in St. Louis were, and you used to go by the nickname Brooklyn. Could you tell everybody at home what Brooklyn means?
Well, back home in Brooklyn, if you throw the ball in the left side of the pocket for a righty, it's actually a jersey. So when I moved to Michigan about Saginaw Valley, I was calling jersey out, and they're like, no, that's a Brooklyn. I'm like, what's a Brooklyn? So we actually had some words with that. But as for us talking trash on AOL, it was pretty fun back in the day. I don't know if we should probably still start that up. What do you think?
It's not there anymore. They got rid of it actually, but we did used to have a lot of fun. It was Numbers Jr. was Alex Cavagnaro when he was about 11 years old, and you and Fagan and your brother, all you guys. Dave Barkowski, right?
Fagan actually is Rip the Rack. My younger brother Rob was Numbers, so Alex Cavagnaro went by Numbers Jr. I was Side Bets, and we used to just talk about bowling action and bowling for money all the time. And actually Joe Stillman, I think his name is Stills Mop. And we just had a good old time on AOL.
What I can't figure out, Michael, is how did you fit into that group? I mean, that's a pretty talented crowd. How did you fit into that group?
Well, Jeff, believe it or not,
did
I
they need the token?
I used to be a pretty good youth bowler. My game used to be fundamentally sound, actually. But I'm one of those guys where, like, I have to study for a test, like, the whole night to get an A the next day. And my bowling game's the same way. I used to bowl every day. I used to drill like 4 balls a month, and I have to really work at it. So when I broadcast and stuff like this, there's no chance my bowling game's very good. I'm a feel player, and I have no feel usually. So
Hey, as long as it was 4 storm balls a month, that's okay. We're good with
it
that.
was. Vince Range used to hook me up back in the day. Old Vince Range.
I like Vince. You bet.
Yeah, he hooked me up with a Sky Bolt. That's still the only ball I've bowled multiple 300 games with. And I used to use it at 400 grit all the time. Had a big hole in the side of it, really smooth. I shot 300 at the Buckeye Classic at Palace Lanes in Columbus, Ohio.
Ooh, Palace.
Ed Smaglick and I were the only guys with 300s in that tournament. And I'd have made the all-tournament team, but my coach that was running the team had low man sits out no matter what. And I bowled a 191 game, and I was the low man that game, and I had to sit out. I averaged 237 for the tournament, would have made the all-tournament team. Wow, wow, wow.
Are you fig jamming right now?
But
Is that
I am.
what you're doing?
But he's not bitter.
I
He's
am.
not
Hey,
bitter
actually,
about it.
No,
No.
Rob actually just walked over. The Numbers from the AOL day. Hi, Rob. Welcome to Inside Bowling.
Oh, how's it going today?
It's going good. How's the pro shop going for you? Drilling a lot of storm balls?
That's all we're drilling. Storm balls lying around the drill press.
Now, Rob is most famous for a telecast in Las Vegas where Bill O'Neill won a title, the Cheetah Championship, where Bill kissed his wife Christy's stomach when she was pregnant with the kiddo, Gavin, right? And you were going crazy in the front row in your plaid shirt. You were looking pretty nice, everybody.
Yeah, I dressed up for the camera because I knew I was going to get good seats because Bill's a good friend of mine. And what you saw there was just complete raw emotion. A lot of people, I got a lot of slack for it, but you know what? He's one of my best friends. I wanted him to win, and that's how I think if you had 250 to 300 of me in the crowd, the shows would be just going crazy. Everyone would be nuts. It'd be like a soccer game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rob, I heard that after that, it wasn't very long after that where you had women lining up wanting to go out on dates with you. Is that true?
Yeah, the numbers must have been to like 50 to 60. I just couldn't keep them off. I had to beat them off with a stick. But
Actually, I took a screenshot of that. I posted on Facebook, and he had 120-something likes. I think that was a new record for Rob over here.
Yeah, I think so. Well, these guys are two of the classiest, coolest guys in the business. If you ever want to go out in the town and have a good time, Rob and Dave here, and of course their smarter brother, Jeff, who's not here right now. You want to give a shout out to one of you guys? Want to give a shout out to Jeff?
You say smarter, but you could say more educated. Maybe not necessarily smarter.
He's
right?
a smarter guy.
Is he? Oh,
He
okay,
is,
I
yeah,
was trying to give the guys
Rob,
the benefit of the
your
doubt.
brother Jeff, what's he mean to you?
Jeff is my oldest brother. I looked up to him growing up as he was a role model to me on the lanes and off the lanes. The kid went to school. He did all the right things. He was never in the trouble. He never got into any alcohol, drugs. And that's what you need in an older brother because, we all follow suit. We're all drug free. Dave is a little bit not alcohol free, but.
You gotta say that. Come on. Jeff is actually Bowl of the Year at University of Miami. If nobody doesn't know that, that's a fun fact.
He was bowler of the year in a school that wasn't really competitive, but every tournament he went to, he seemed to either win the freaking individual part of it, and he didn't complain about it either. He was a true gamer. He helped his team get better and coach the guys on the team.
The crazy thing about it was he was actually going through law school when he was bowl of the year. So how many people could say they went to law school and was bowl of the year? See, we went to Saginaw Valley, so that was, we had our classes and they were tough, but it wasn't law school.
So he went to law school at Miami. Maybe he should give Aaron Hernandez a phone call.
Jeff's saying maybe he should give Aaron Hernandez a phone call for Miami. What do you guys think?
Hey, that's what happens when you play for the Patriots. You just end up being a degenerate murderer.
There you have it. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us.
Convicted yet.
We'll catch up with you guys some more over the next couple of days. Appreciate the interview.
Have a nice day. Thank you. I'll see you Saturday.
Thanks guys.
Mike. InsideBowling.com. Check it out.
Thanks, guys.
This is my favorite part of this, Steve. If you can't figure it out, I love just walking around and talking to people.
Oh, that's a good time. So those are two good guys right there, too. We're lucky to have them on.
They are, and I kid about their brother being smarter, but I only say that because I know their brother went to law school and, didn't hoop it up quite as much as these two guys.
Well, I tell you what, they don't talk about themselves as far as bowling-wise goes, but three brothers that are highly, highly competitive, nationally competitive bowlers, where do you find that?
Yeah, and if anybody's watching from like a producer standpoint or like Hollywood or a reality show, these three guys would be incredible to follow around bowling.
The new real world, bowling's real world.
Yeah, maybe we could start like a trio professional bowlers tour where it's just trio teams. There's no singles, there's no doubles, there's no team event. It's just three people bowling all the time.
I tell you what, that'd be three right there. They have the ins, they know their games, they know their personalities, and I tell you what, there'd be a lot of people following them.
I'm still waiting for the scissors paper rock tour to get started.
How does that one work, Jeff?
I always wondered, are you born with the ability to play scissors paper rock? Because I don't remember ever being taught that game.
You very well could be. That's a good call, actually. I know I came out of the womb playing Duck, Duck, Goose.
It's good to have you back, Mike. Good to have you back.
I didn't goose very much, but I was ducking.
Bryson Rogers here. He's got a strike in the eighth. 2:30 left here, bowling pretty good. See if he can do it.
Hey, Jeff, is my bowling game really that atrocious?
No, I'll be nice. It's not. You almost had, didn't you almost have 1,800 USBCs this year?
Yeah, it really should have been more. I shot 660 in team event, playing the lanes correctly for me. And then I bowled singles and doubles thinking I needed a shiny ball in my hand like a moron. And I didn't shoot a 200 game for 5 games, and then I grabbed this box finish IQ Tour solid and throw 10 strikes the last game. So if I started with that ball, I'm sure I shoot at least 600 both sets, and I'm looking at 1860.
Well, the only difference with that, and that kind of plays along with some of the stuff that Steve and I were talking about earlier with those things. Number one, you don't want to second guess yourself, but mainly because who knows, if you would have started with that ball, it could have been even worse. It may have been the wrong ball at the wrong time. Maybe when you changed to it, it was a good move. Maybe there was something else that you could have gone to. So it's always tough to second guess yourself after the fact and say, I should have done this or I could have done that. So, sometimes you just have to make the best educated guess that you can, go with it, live with it, and move on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, hopefully I'll be able to be the spokesperson for Storm University. And Hank and Steve and you, obviously, and Richter and all these guys. Hopefully there'll come a point in time where I want to start practicing and start really dedicating myself back to this game that I love so much. And hopefully we'll be able to take my game to the next level and be able to repeat some shots. And I'll be that spokesperson. I'll be able to say, hey, I lived it, I did it, I went through it. Even though I worked for Storm, I also took on this Storm University project as something I wanted to do. And look at the results. I've won 6 USBC Eagles. I've got 3 national titles on the PBA Tour. And I passed Tyler Jensen, who has 11 regional titles. And by that time, he'll have like 15. I'll have like 26. So, and if I just can get 1/10 of that, then then I will be happy.
We do need you to work once in a while, though. You can't work only on your game, Mike, but we do appreciate the passion, the enthusiasm.
have to move his office out to the pro shop and training lanes.
We did talk about that earlier, though. There is at Storm a lot of the people who work in production and in the office, when they have a break, they go down to the lanes and work on their game. So we might have to expand on that test facility, take it from 2 lanes to 4.
Or 36.
Or 36.
Well, I'll tell you, that's something that eventually I want to get to. I can't from the beginning, but if I could just be more of an accomplished bowler, it would give me a lot more credibility on these broadcasts too, because, you know, I'm up there talking about this stuff, and, you know, I got to be a reputable source. You know, most people give me the benefit of the doubt, but, you know, I'm no seasoned veteran by any means.
Well, we're definitely going to get you there. So you're in the right place.
Well, that's good to hear.
So, Steve, I got something I want to ask you. Tell me a little bit about this Coach K scholarship thing you've got going on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Coach K scholarship, it's something I started in 2010.
Now, we're not talking the famous Duke Coach K, are we?
It's not. It's not. And I'll give you the little story behind there, because that's what, you know, when you hear Coach K, it's a pretty famous name in sports. But what we've got back, well, it started back in 1995, 1996. I was helping out at the Wichita State University. They had a shocker bowling camp that they did every summer. And Coach V and Coach L were their names, so I helped out as one of the assistant coaches. So Coach V, which is Gordon Vatican, he started calling me Coach K then. And so for a number of years beyond that, though, when I started working for Storm and gone on for several years, I'd always wanted to give back to the university, you know, and I received college scholarship assistance when I was there. I got some assistance as far as books and tuition assistance and meal plan and that stuff. And you know, the stuff that's important to help a college student get through, financially get through college, because it's expensive. And so I had an idea and just kind of a philosophy, and for a number of years I'd wanted to give back and hadn't really figured out the best way to do it or how to do it. And so about 4 years ago or so, I contacted Coach V and told him that I wanted to create a new scholarship that would give back to some of the student athletes that are there in the shocker bowling program. But it was going to be a little bit different as far as qualifications or who would earn this scholarship, this new Coach K scholarship money, would be the person who excelled the most in the classroom. And so the way we do it is we have every spring semester, every January, a person who on the team who does best academically for the fall has to be a returning member, so it's eligible for sophomores, juniors, and seniors. A returning team member who does best in the classroom in the fall receives the scholarship in the spring. And this last year, we started out originally the first 2 years at $500 scholarship donation I gave the program, and then this last year was able to donate $750, and I'm going to be growing that to 4 digits for this year for sure, and also getting support from some of our past team members and other people who really just appreciate the sponsorship or appreciate the struggles of a college student, you know, balancing their time in the classroom and time on the lanes, working on their game, and travel to compete for the university. And so we're going to be basically just decided we're going to grow this. 750 is not enough, you know. In my mind, in a few years down the road here, I'm want to get to the point to where 2,500 and 5,000 isn't enough. I want to grow this thing and make this thing bigger and better than it's ever been. So
awesome. That's you know, something that, you know, our sport sorely needs is, you know, some funding for collegiate programs, you know, and you know, those student athletes are out there working just as hard as any other student athlete is. So that's tremendous.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. And you're yourself, you're involved also. Isn't your charity is called the Bowl Strong? Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. A little backstory on that. In 2001, I lost my best friend to cancer. Her name was Mary Tubner. Her and her husband were, you know, my 2 closest friends. Her husband, Kenny, is still one of my closest friends today. She passed away from intestinal cancer in 2001, and at the time, we were hosting a PBA regional, so, you know, immediately I changed the name, you know, in her honor, and we started to raise money for cancer research through the Pro-Am, sponsorship dollars, 50/50s, raffles, so on and so forth. And we averaged about $10,000 a year donation to various cancer research centers in our area for about 7 or 8 years. I think we had the regional in her name for 8 or 9 years, I believe. So a couple of years ago, when we decided we were going to go to this World Team Challenge type of event and no longer do a PBA regional, of course we wanted to keep that signature event, so we named it after Mary. And it has just kind of grown into, instead of one big event, now we're running 17, 18 events a year in the Springfield area, and all of them benefit our charity. Well, as things got bigger and kind of grew more and more, I wanted to kind of take this thing a little bit more national, so we came up with the name Bull Strong. Part of it was off of the Live Strong from the Lance Armstrong Foundation, as well as what the marathon runners went through in Boston with the Boston Strong. So we came up with the name Bull Strong. What we do is each year we'll donate approximately $10,000 a year to the big cancer research center that we have in Illinois. It's based out of SIU Edwardsville. It's called the Simmons Cancer Research Institute. And now we have a Facebook page set up. You can go to facebook.com/Bullstrong Cancer Research Charity. That would be the link. We have T-shirts available. Soon we'll have a link where you can just go on and make a straight donation. But basically what this is it's the bowling community. Mary was a bowler. It's the bowling community supporting cancer research. And not only ours, but you'll also have other ones such as Ballard versus the Big C. Dell and Carolyn are both very close friends of ours, and Dell is more of a hero to me than anything else. And to see what he went through battling cancer, it was something that struck me very hard. And I know they do a lot of work for cancer research charities, and so do we, and everybody out there that has the opportunity to make even a small donation. We appreciate everything that we can get, all the help and support, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions about that. I'll get you the information. So thank you very much. We do have, our fearless leader, Brad Edelman, wants to give away a TAT towel for a trivia question. And let's see, did we already do it? Let's see. Trivia question in mind. What do you think, guys? I have one that if we're going to get a bowling ball from Jimmy Callahan, like he promised yesterday, I already have the trivia question in mind for that one. But what do we want to use for this one?
Give away a towel?
Yeah, to give away a towel.
How about this? In what month and year did InsideBowling.com launch?
Okay, we'll use it.
What month and what year did InsideBowling.com launch? So a sample would be September 1997.
Is that the correct answer?
No.
Okay, I just checking. Because if it was, I was going to go ahead and guess that.
Be too easy.
So yeah, so we'll see if the folks in the chat want to get involved in this. What month and year did it start? Beef St. Louis is pretty close. He says September 2010.
Like a reasonable guess.
And since this squad's winding down a little bit already, I think I'm going to go ahead and throw out the trivia question for the bowling ball that Jim Callahan promised yesterday, so we'll make sure that we get that.
We're going to hold him to it.
We're going to hold him to it.
Yep.
Okay.
We have a correct answer by MCK Bowler 13. August of 2010. It was August 26th, 2010. So send me an email, mike@insidebowling.com, and we'll get you your towel.
Okay, and here is your trivia question to win a Storm bowling ball of your choice.
On Jim Callahan's budget.
On Jim Callahan's budget.
That's right.
Who was the first person ever to use a Storm bowling ball on a televised PBA telecast, and what was the ball? Who was the first person to use a Storm bowling ball on TV, and what was the ball?
I think I know the answer to this. I think.
There's also some significance to that question, and we'll let you know after.
Was this a balding gentleman?
No hints. No hints here. So, anybody out there? I don't even know if you can Google that. You might be able to. I'm sure everything's on Google.
I think everything is on Google, but I don't know if this one is. I really don't.
I know this is on YouTube.
I wonder if you Google, how did Google get started, if it's on there. Can you Google?
I'm not sure.
It's like in the dictionary under redundant. It says see redundant.
You get a bowling ball of your choice for this.
Now, there's no penalties for wrong answers. So if you want to
just
wager
throw it out
a guess and you're wrong, it's okay. We're not going to – you don't owe us a bowling ball or anything like that.
No. Gummy worms. You owe us gummy worms.
We'd take those.
You know, speaking of owing.
Yeah, you got some
Mr.
stability
Flanagan,
strikes coming.
We not only
and
have
the Cheetos.
And Cheetos and grape soda. Remember, I negotiated. You know, last year during the Mary Tubner Memorial Team Challenge, my team bowled 2 Baker 300s in that event. And we were promised stability socks, Cheetos, and grape soda, and we never got them.
Oh.
And one of them was on the TV pair.
Ooh, really?
With Jason Queen throwing all 3 in the 10th for the
cheese.
For the Cheetos.
For the Cheetos.
And here's how all this took place. We were at the Holiday Doubles 2 years ago.
There we have a correct answer. Jack Rice, correct answer. Barry Gurney, Teal Storm.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, sorry to announce the significance is we just found out that Barry Gurney passed away. So that's why.
Did he really?
That's why that stuck in my mind immediately.
When did that happen?
Question. We just found out this morning.
Yeah, just today.
Oh, man.
So sorry to hear that. Condolences to the family and friends of Barry Gurney. But Barry was the very first person in the history of Storm to use a Storm bowling ball on a televised final, and it was a Teal Storm, in fact.
Yep. I thought it was Dennis Horan would have been my answer.
And you would have been wrong.
Yeah. So the Cheetos story goes as this.
So Jack, make sure you send an email to
Mike at InsideBowling.com.
Mike at InsideBowling.com, and we'll get you taken care of. Thank you very much.
Dennis Horan was actually the first person to use Storm and win on the national tour, and that's where another good trivia question.
Yep.
Another very good one, but.
So we were at Holiday Doubles 2 years ago broadcasting, and I brought in some folks from St. Louis to sit in on the broadcast, kind of like we're doing today, just, revolving door of people. And at one point in time, one of the guys, Brad Jenkins, said, hey, if somebody shoots 300 on a featured pair today, I'll buy him a drink. And I said, oh, well, I'll buy him something out of the snack machine. And I glanced over, and there were Cheetos. And I said, I'll buy you a bag of Cheetos. And everybody just thought that was so funny. And Chris Hester and those guys were driving up from Louisville.
Louisville?
You pronounce it right.
Yeah.
Good.
And they were on their way up, and Chris Hester started posting on Facebook, I have a chance to win thousands of dollars at this tournament, but what I'm really most excited about is I can win Cheetos. So that was like a big deal for like a year, is if you shoot 300 on a feature pair, you get Cheetos. And then our friend over at Stability Strikes, Jay Brewer, said, why don't you start giving away Stability Strikes? So he sent me some Stability Strike socks, and I had them. So I announced at Jeff's tournament, if you shoot 300, you get Stability Strikes. Well, I had them on me, but one of the last things I was doing, was handing out these prizes. I was too busy doing this, and didn't end up giving them all away and getting them handed out. And now it looks like I just didn't deliver. But I do still have Stability Strikes,
We're going to hold you to that, because that was actually one of those moments that Steve and I were talking about earlier about special moments. That was something that was actually really, really cool, as being part of Baker 300 games. So it doesn't happen very often.
Now on the flip side, there's some good and bad out of this too. I was able to capture the Baker 300, the first one, on video, and I made a nice video tributing that particular feat that you guys did that you can go back and watch over and over again. So you're welcome on that one. The bad news is, though, they were few pairs down, and we were really trying to dial in the coverage, and all of a sudden I look down, and they got 11 in a row, and my iPad is like 5 steps away, and I need to get like 20 steps to the left, and the anchor bowler, Jason Queen, was on the approach.
So
Did you ask him to hold up?
Yeah.
No, so I missed the second one, and I was so mad driving home with Doug Lakey. We were on the way home. I said, man, and I got mad. Of course I got to pass the buck. I'm like, man, you got to pay attention out there. You got to pay attention when this is happening.
How we doing? High roller champion Ed Roberts in the house.
Ed Roberts is here, and Steve's got some technical questions going on here.
So meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yeah, right here, Bobby. I just sold the ranch. Steve, you'll find, too.
Awkward silence.
I'll tell you, here's what's so great about this, too, man. We've learned over the years. We used to set up on the floor. When you set up on the floor and you're broadcasting, especially like in the finals, all these people crowd up on you, and they just keep inching closer and closer and closer, and they're right up on you kind of like this. And then they'll start asking you questions with the headset on. They'll be like, what's that do? What's this? Who's winning? Okay.
It's not hard to manage all that, is it?
No, not at all.
No.
So now it's a prerequisite that we have to be elevated in the air.
Gotcha.
But there are still many, many people that just still think, oh, there's no way those guys are busy or in the middle of a broadcast. Hey, what's going on? I got a question for you. What is this? I had a guy today ask me, what is this?
What is this?
Yeah, what is this? Oh, it's just a bowling tournament. But you know what? You can tell with the mannerisms and just the way that we are smiling up here and having a good time that we're very approachable people.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Well, and some people, like when we're talking about going down to the showcase lanes, for example, there's a lot of people, you'll notice that they get kind of close to you because they kind of want to hear what you have to say, but they're not quite comfortable asking questions. Then once they realize that we are there to answer questions, and that's exactly why we're standing there, is because we want to help you, then the questions start going. Once one person asks a question, then their buddy asks a question, the next person on the next pair asks a question. Before you know it, there's a lot of interaction going on, and everyone's getting all the assistance they need. But, yeah, you got to make sure that that if you do come here and you bowl the TAT, that you come down to the showcase lanes, you try out our matchmaker balls. You bring your equipment down as well. We'll help you get matched up, make sure you got the right surfaces, the right layouts for this condition. And we're here to help. That's really why we're here. We're here to help. So we're here to help make sure that you have as good of a possible experience as you can have.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much going on in an event like this. It's, you look around and there's, several, you've got the qualifying rounds going on, the matchmakers going on there, lines in the pro shop. I mean, it's a pretty cool event.
Phil Prieto actually is hard to believe. Now, Brad said he's 70 years old. Phil Prieto's been around for a long time. Good friend, a good veteran. He's a member of our staff. Just an awesome individual. He's on our featured pair right now. We just switched the cameras over here. He's on 17 and 18, and he's started out spare, 4-bagger, spare. And so we're going to watch Phil throw a few shots here, see how he's playing the lane, see what kind of ball he's using, see what his strategy is, and see what's, why is he striking. We know he's a unbelievably good bowler. That's probably number one, but you still have to figure out
that usually helps.
What's the right way to play the lanes in order to match up on a tougher, more challenging condition like this.
I was at the Grand Boot Hill tournament, Jeff, and while I was there, Cameron Foster, who's from Utah, actually was bowling in the Boot Hill and bowled very, very well there. And you had mentioned earlier that Cameron was on the live broadcast when I was away. he's the type of guy, as I just saw him walk down the concourse, that could win this tournament Saturday.
Yeah, and just from watching, it looks like the people that have good solid forward ball roll can play multiple angles on the lane and can stay out of trouble and make spares. I mean, I know that's something we really haven't touched on too much today, but the key to winning an event like this comes down to making spares. It really does. And I don't think people take spare shooting seriously enough, especially when the patterns are flatter, because every time you miss a spare, you've got to throw at least a triple to make up for it, and those are not easy to come by in some cases. So, if you can stay out of trouble, make your spares, and move on to the next frame, then you start striking, you're golden. And the one part of that gets kind of lost is the fact that when you miss spares, you lose confidence. You're not sure of yourself, and that really weighs on your mental game.
And I can tell you, too, it is easy to get a little bit sloppy with your spare shooting and still be okay when it comes to bowling and shooting your spares on a house shot, because if you miss a little to the outside, it still comes back. If you miss a little in, there's extra oil and it pushes it. So it's easy to get a little bit careless, but when you're bowling a tournament and you're bowling on a condition like we have here, you have to focus, and you have to concentrate. You have to make the right moves. There is a little bit of strategy in spare shooting even when you come down to tournament conditions like this.
Absolutely.
I have a question for you two coaching gurus.
As long as you refer to me as Coach K, you can ask me anything you want, Mike.
Coach K.
And you can refer to me as Lord King and Ruler of all.
And Lord King, Ruler of all.
Okay.
If you're bowling on a house condition and you leave a 7-pin, being a right-hander, do you recommend hooking at the 7-pin, or do you recommend going hard and straight at the 7-pin?
Okay, you were on a tournament condition?
No, I'm on a house pattern.
Okay.
And I leave a 7-pin, and I'm playing like 17 to 9 with my gold IQ, and now I leave a 7-pin. What is the best chance of me to pick the 7-pin? Should I go hard and straight at it, or should I hook it at it?
Good question.
Lord, King, Ruler, Jeff Carter, your answer, please.
Normally, I recommend throwing hard and straight with a polyester ball at all single pins. But I have actually gone to hooking at 7-pins on house patterns only because the amount of volume that pools up in the middle of the lane on house patterns sometimes makes your spare ball hydroplane too much, especially because I actually utilize the entire left side of the lane. When I shoot a 7-pin, it's basically through 6th arrow. And if the
left-hander's dry.
If the left-hand side is wet dry,
okay,
literally I have zero mistake room.
Okay, good answer. Lord, King, Ruler. Now, Coach K, of all, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree somewhat with Lord King Ruler, but the the one thing I would say is looking at the oil pattern for what you're bowling on and using that information to try and help determine how you're going to shoot that spare. So just like Lord Ruler had touched on, when you're going straight up, and this is what a lot of players do make a mistake, when they're shooting their spares and they're going up the left side of the lane and it's a house shot and it's very dry there, if they miss right, it hits the oil, it goes straight, you got to use more of the lane. You got to use more angle. So if you're shooting your 7, go way to the right, come all the way across maybe the 3rd arrow with your spare ball, and that's going to give you the best chance of making it. What do you think about that, Mike?
Like I said, I would normally recommend taking the lane condition totally out of play for spares. But in today's modern era, I think you can attack it multiple different ways, and almost whatever you feel like at that particular moment, go with it. For years, all I did was throw, hard and straight at 7-pins using the left side of the lane. But, after bowling on tour for over a decade, I come home and you miss your first couple 7-pins and you think, well, I'm just going to throw it to the dry and let it hook over there. And you kind of go back into that old habit.
Now that helps explain too why how many times when you come off the road, you're bowling on tour with the best bowlers in the world, you get home you bowl in league, and all of a sudden you're the 18th best bowler in your league.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
You know, and that's something that we talk about a lot, and a lot of that has to do with the way you see the lane. You know, a lot of bowlers read the lane. You know, right-handers read it right to left, left-handers read it left to right, of course, and you watch your ball and see how much it hooks. Whereas when you're bowling either on tour or in competitive environments such as this, you're reading the lane front to back, and you don't read how much your ball hooks, but when it hooks and where it hooks. I could care less on how much it hooks. I need to see when my ball starts to change direction and go from there. And the same thing with spares. You know, you bowl on a flat pattern, you don't know where the lane help is going to be. So you take that totally out of play and eliminate that variable, and that's by throwing your plastic ball hard and straight. So I hope that answers your question, Michael, and that makes you a much better bowler moving forward into your young career.
Lord King, ruler of them all, and
Yes.
Coach K, thank you very much. I want to discuss the 2-8 at some point as well, on how to throw at the 2-8.
Actually, if you ever want to discuss the 2-8, contact Kim Terrell. She's the only person I've ever seen in my life that throws a plastic ball hard and straight at it and has never missed it. She's incredible. She amazes me.
Marcia Kloempken does as well, and it
Does
amazes
Marcia?
me, and
Wow.
she makes it way more often than I do.
Now, I watched Marcia because I used to follow the ladies tour back in its last 5 years of existence. And I was used to, you know, they would only have 30 entries each week and take 24 into match play. And I would always go and root for Marcia, Amy Dillon, Brenda, at the time, Brenda Norman. Who
You're
else?
just picking all the
But-
hot chicks, Jeff.
Well, that's obvious, but the young girls that were
Hey,
trying
Steve,
to
I got bonus coverage on that camera. Would you click on it? Used to be the booth cam, the larger one. Just right there. Yep.
the girls that were out there fighting against the ones that were making match play every week. It was fun to go watch. Marcia and Amy. And
Hey, guys,
a lot
real
of
quick.
the bowl
Shane
there.
Reed, lane 22, has the first 8. Bowled games of 162, 197. He's in the under division. Looking for the first 9 here on 22.
Hey, Michael, can you see what he's
Oh,
using?
looks like
He's
a
got
great
it.
shot. Looks like it might be a Marvel Pearl, possibly.
And he is.
Looks
he
like
does have a storm
possibly
patch
a
on,
Marvel
so-
Pearl.
Looks like a Marvel Pearl to me.
He just confirmed with me it is a Marvel Pearl, and he is wearing the storm patch, so he's eligible for the $300.
You mean you just asked him in the middle of a string? You never talked to anybody about a no-hitter.
That doesn't bother me at all. I didn't say anything. I didn't mention what he was doing. I just asked what ball he had in his hand.
Wow.
That was it.
Do you think that the Reds asked Homer Bailey in the dugout last night what kind of shoes he was wearing?
They might have.
Wow.
All right, well, we'll see if it affects him or not. We'll
Okay.
find out here. He's getting ready to go up on lane 21.
Well, I know that I went down there and was behind the pair watching him, and it didn't jinx him at all. And I moved a camera on him. That's more of a jinx whammy than asking him what ball he used.
You might
You are usually a black cloud.
might be his good luck charm today, though. You never know. He's getting set up. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty comfortable.
He's playing a similar part of the lane that we saw what Cameron was playing earlier. So
18, 19 at the arrows.
There we go.
Ooh.
Shane Reed, first 10.
that part of the lane is definitely starting to transition nicely. So just in time for him to be done for the day.
The later squad.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and we
right.
talked about that.
Yeah.
You know, like I said earlier, I would definitely be bowling the late squads all week just to make sure that I could try and take advantage of as much friction down lane as I could see.
I thought you said you were going to try to take advantage of Steve.
No,
Coach K.
Coach K.
Well, he did not look nervous on that shot at all, did he? He
Not
looked
at all.
very comfortable. We'll have to make sure Mike doesn't remind him before the shot in the 12th that it could be worth the bonus bucks.
Oh, that's
Got that
way
one
out.
Right.
Oh, look at that Marvel Pearl just
Oh.
work.
Nice.
So it's front 11 here. Shane Reed, the Orleans Bowling Center, Coach K, Lord King, ruler of them all, Mike Flanagan here on the call.
That Marvel Pearl has some back end.
Certainly does. That one got a little further to the right a little bit earlier, but the ball just set and knocked them all down quite nicely.
So he's got not just a 300, but also the $300 bonus bucks that we are offering for the Storm ball and the Storm logo.
And if he gets lucky, maybe they'll draw the number 300 for the Buddies mystery pot.
Ooh, could be.
Got
A little
off his
bit
hand pretty
inside.
good.
Oh, he gets that 300 through the face. Gets a little bit of a break there. Just a little high. See if I can get an interview here. Shane Reed, you got a second for an interview? Shane, congratulations. Nice bowling. That's $300 for you. Talk about that bowling ball you were throwing.
Yeah, I was throwing the Storm Marvel Pearl. I needed something that was going to roll up a little earlier and set up for the pocket, kind of get out the corners, and worked a lot better than the IQ Tour. And, Storm products all the way.
Well, we're happy to see you bowling in this tournament. We captured it on video. We'll get that uploaded to YouTube for you, and you can cherish it for years to come.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Hey, Mike, ask him how many squads he bowled today.
How many squads have you bowled today? The booth wants to know.
This is my second squad. I bowled this morning on the fresh. Struggled a little bit. Made an adjustment in the third game. Moved in around 20 and bowled 240 and figured I'd take another crack at it. So
Pays to re-enter.
Okay, man. Congratulations.
Good luck.
$300. Happy for you. There you go, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, that was pretty cool.
Glad we could bring that to you.
How about that? Pretty awesome.
I will say that I do have this ability that I just don't care. I just go right down there and just I need it. I need the story. Let's go right now.
You just haven't been chewed out by the right person
No,
yet.
you're dead. You're dead on with that.
That's exactly.
I have to ask you a question. Would you do that to Pete?
I would.
Would you? Okay.
I would. And it's only because Pete and I have a relationship, and he gives me the benefit of the doubt all the time.
Would you do that to me?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have no problem with you. It's not even a question with you.
He wouldn't need to ask you what ball you were throwing, though, Jeff.
It'd be a
high road. So.
No, but there are some bowlers that I do stay away from until I create that rapport with them. But I mean, that guy there, he's just tickled. He was tickled to shoot 300. You could tell. And I kind of went on my whole hunch there that these bowlers want to be stars, and when they bowl an accomplishment, they want to be high-fived. And the fact that people at home got to watch and get a quick interview with them, he's going to remember that. He's going to say, it was really cool. This guy came down and interviewed me after I shot my 300. I bowled this TAT tournament. Not only was it a great experience for me, but it made me feel appreciated. And that's really what this live streaming is all about.
That's kind of what we were explaining earlier. We had we had a lot of requests about who's bowling what pair they're going to, and trying to explain to everybody that it's very difficult for us to keep up with that at an event like this, to where we don't necessarily have the ability to have the scores in front of us and names and where everybody's going. We're trying to basically just kind of provide some video of bowling going on and commentary of, we talked about how we come up with the scents and bowling balls earlier today. So I think we filled about 30 minutes of airtime with just that. So.
Yeah.
People were chiming in with bacon, so you're gonna, as a marketing director, you're gonna have to figure out a way to market a bacon-scented bowling ball soon.
Won't be hard to market. Everyone's asking for it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I just can't believe. Everybody loves that. It has taken off.
And then the pearl version will be the biscuits and gravy to go along with it. So you got your work cut out for you, Michael.
Hey, I was in the scent room the other day with Coach K, and Coach K can handle the scents. No problem.
I still think one of my favorite ones is the real leather one that Mr. Chrisman had in his office there for a while, and he had it at the sales meeting. That one actually was about as authentic as it got. So
we also had some requests. I think Reese's Peanut Butter Cups was one that's that people have been asking for.
I'm a big Reese's Peanut Butter Cup fan.
Some of these, it might make it hard for me to keep my mind on the lanes, if we get them, too many of them smelling outstanding.
I want to create our own scent and call it Money.
Money fragrance.
Smells like money.
Oh. We can call it Money.
And then if everybody likes it, then we can bottle it and sell it as our own cologne and perfume for ladies.
Ooh. I like that.
So the other day we had a long talk at lunch about nail polish.
Yes.
Now we're talking about cologne and perfume. Just where are you trying to take us?
Well, the more and more we can introduce products that are appealing to not only bowlers but to the masses, it's easier to get them to turn into bowling. For instance, Kegel has that Fission household product.
Yes.
And I always thought the best thing for bowling would
Pet
be for Kegel to hit a home run with one of their chemicals outside of this market. Like if they created Windex, for instance, I truly believe the Kegel company would take all their profits from Windex and they'd keep some, but they'd probably reinvest a lot of it back into bowling because they love it so much. So I root for companies out there to hit home runs with other products that can appeal to the masses, because I feel like then they would help support bowling even more than they already do.
Sounds good to me.
Guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up the coverage. Coach K, could you bring it into the booth? You're doing such a great job with the just right there. Yeah. This is your debut here today on Inside Bowling, and you actually drove the ship all afternoon and all day.
Felt outstanding. It was great to be here, and I think we had a lot of good, a lot of good back and forth. Jeff, we had Lord Almighty, Ruler of the universe.
Thank you.
It was.
That's right.
It was a great day, and I think being up here, what the cool thing is you do get a little different perspective on the lanes and the ball motion, what makes bowlers, bowling balls do what they do. And as long as everyone who's coming here to the tournament understands that we're here to help, we'd be happy to share with you our wisdom and everything that we've acquired in terms of how to play the lanes. Seeing, for example, the 300 that was just bowled with the Marvel Pearl. We know that after, 2 squads, get into that third squad, you can get in there closer to fourth arrow, get the ball rolling, and it's still going to make the corner come through and hit. And that's how to play the lanes. And being here gives us that good perspective and being able to see from up on a mountaintop, as you mentioned.
And Jeff, as always, man, solid over there.
Yep. Doing what we do.
Holding it down.
Doing what we do. Looking for another long day tomorrow of live streaming. And
I believe tomorrow is Orange Day.
Tomorrow is Orange Day, which is in my wheelhouse, one of my favorite colors. So we need to definitely get Wendy up here tomorrow. She's high on the priority list to get up here and talk to her. Tell some stories about the PWBA and even back in the LPBT days, and get her up here, and maybe we can drag Corbett up here a little bit tomorrow and somebody else. So
make sure you ask Wendy when she comes in here tomorrow who her ball driller was in 1989, 1990.
Will do.
Absolutely.
We will do that.
For those of you out there watching still, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Tune in tomorrow morning. I believe we're going to get back on the air around 11 o'clock Pacific time. So we will be broadcasting for day 3 qualifying rounds, and then join us tomorrow night at 7 for the Storm Challenge. So
Storm Challenge tomorrow night. Happy 4th of July to everybody tomorrow, and be safe out there. Don't blow up.
Happy Independence Day.
Yeah, don't blow up any fireworks in your hands. Be careful tomorrow.
Safety first.
Should we save the... If you remind me tomorrow, I'll tell the Tyler Jensen fireworks story on air from Tour Trials. So remind me tomorrow. That's always a good story to tell. So, and it's not even X-rated.
So continuing coverage here tomorrow, then again on Friday, then Saturday, then Sunday we'll head over to the ABT finals, where I was over there getting all that taken care of, and then the following week we'll be at the Proprietors Cup, and then a couple weeks later at the Lucy Bonneau, and then don't forget, we'll be at Jeff Carter's team event in September, first week of September. So,
okay, thanks for joining us, and I think we're signing off now. So have a great night, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Take care, guys.
Stay classy, San Diego.